Hi everyone and welcome to this build. This is for the Pagani Zonda R from 2009. Sporting that amazing AC/DC livery, this car is one that you are definitely going to want to build if you have it in your garage. So I won this as a gift and I thought, well, I want to see what it can do as a 700 pp build. This is perfect for all tracks and even better, that Le Mans money grind that we all know and love. So get your Pagani Zonda R and meet me at the tuning shop and we'll get the build underway. So now at the tuning shop, as you can see, there's nothing that you can get from sports and club sports, pretty barren as well. What you do need to get is power restrictor and a ballast. Semi-racing, make sure the fully customizable computers are purchased on there, the fully customizable LSD and the increased body rigidity. You just need to make sure these are on there because some of them are already purchased. Racing silencer, racing brake kit, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, your fully customizable racing transmission and a set of racing car tyres, extreme, steering angle adapter, intermediate tyres because we know what happens when you throw a curveball. An absolute shocker to see that a new body is over 2 million for this car, so that threw me through a loop. And under Ultimate there's nothing you can get from there, so a pretty simple build when it comes to trying to purchase parts because there's not a lot really that you need to make it a 700 pp build. So moving on, let's go to GT Auto. So next let's go back and we want to go to car customization. So what you can do is you can change the wheels, you can change the paint colour, and if you're like me and you love these liveries, just go to load style, content search again, and you'll see there's 41 pages of these Zondas available. Now if I go to collection, you can see this is who made this one. So it was Bleeds Cubby Blue, and that is the Pagani that they've built, and you can see I've already liked it and you can see I've saved it in my collection already. So if you love these builds, definitely give them a like, leave a comment just saying what you think of the build, and it lets that designer know that their hard work is worth it. And I think that is something that we could all do. It takes a couple of seconds and we build that community of Gran Turismo together. So moving on, let's go back to the garage and go to that setting sheet and we'll get this completed. So now we're back at the garage, just go to car settings and there's that build, 700 pp for all tracks. So first of all, get your racing hard tyres on there. And then you want to make sure your body height adjustments to the front is 75 and the rear is 90. Your anti-roll bar 10 at the front, 8 at the rear. Your dampen ratio compression 30 at the front and 30 at the rear. The dampen ratio expansion 42 at the front, 45 at the rear. Your natural frequency 3 front and rear. And your negative camber angle 3 front and rear. Toe angle 0.05 out at the front and 0.25 in at the rear, and your initial torque 15 at the rear, acceleration sensitivity 10 and your braking sensitivity 20. Now before I carry on, I just want to make it clear, you will be shocked at how good this is at Le Mans, so please stay watching till the end to see how good this car is at Le Mans, because even I wasn't prepared for what happened. So going back to your aerodynamics on this tuning sheet, you want the front at 350, the rear at 750, your ECU drop that to 92%, your performance adjustments you want the ballast at 193 and the ballast position to be negative 49 and the power restrictor to be 92% as well. Now your top speed, change the kmh to 280 on the automatically adjusted transmission, and make sure you go to manual adjustment to make these critical changes. So first gear 2.767, second gear 1.989, third gear 1.540, fourth gear 1.246, fifth gear 1.039 and sixth gear 0.875. That's with a final drive of 3.560. Now if you're struggling to get those gear ratios, change this final one first and that usually helps with that adjustment to allow you to get to those. Okay, so moving on, you can see nothing else has been added other than steering angle adapter, and we've increased the body rigidity and this car is ready to go. So stick with me just to see what shocking thing it did at Le Mans that I wasn't prepared for, and then we can all move on and enjoy another 700 pp race from this Italian stallion Zonda R. So here we are at Le Mans and we're ready to start the race in the Zonda R. So first thing, power, get that to lean, fuel map 6, bottom right hand screen, you can see that there. Right, so first thing is, remember, first few corners, take your time. The last thing you want to do is get into a little bump or scrape with one of these little minnows down at the back end of the field as you start powering through in this absolute monster. Now this Italian stallion is so easy to drive, it's like it's on rails most of the time. So this track everyone loves, unless you prefer Sardinia or Tokyo, but let's be honest, everyone loves this one, don't they? So getting into this, you can see you had to brake a few times, wanted to avoid a few collisions. The last thing you want to do is get into any scraps or scrapes lap 1, especially within the first minute of the race. So looking at the bottom left of the screen, you can see got racing hard tyres on. These last far longer than I ever thought on this Zonda. I thought big, powerful rear wheel drive car, it's going to chew up those tyres. No, not at all. It's so soft and gentle and easy to go on these tyres. So don't worry about having to change them when you pit. It's not something you need to panic about. And the fuel, wow, look at that. Look at the laps remaining. It's flying up and it stays steady at that. You can get 4 laps if you half shift or 3 laps if you nail it. All in fuel map 6, of course, but what a great thing to have from such a powerful and immensely great car. So let's move this on to the end of lap 1 and the start of lap 2. So here we go, just under 26 minutes remaining and coming into those last few corners now. So as you can see, the wear on the racing hard tyres is very minimal and this car is still going strong. We've opened up a 3.5 second lead against McEwen, and this lap, just like the first one, is very, very simple, enjoyable and easy on the eye. So without any further ado, let's skip to the end of lap 2 where things got very ugly indeed. And this is why you can see me leaving the pits. I've had to throw some intermediates on because look at the bottom right. Look at that weather radar, absolutely disgusting weather. So I had to throw some intermediates on there because it's gone to the dark blue and the green. That's definitely intermediate territory. Full wets is when you get yellow, pink and the purple. But for now, intermediates will do. This car still drives perfectly fine on these. And we've still kept that nice little cushion of 5.5 seconds to Portia while making that change. Some of these cars didn't pit behind me. I don't know why, they must be mad. But I did. And we'll move this on to lap 4. You can see just over 15 minutes left now as we come down the Mulsanne straight. I've opened up a 1 minute and 25 second gap against Portia now. So plenty of time if I need to make either a splash and dash, which I doubt I'll need to in the car. Look at the fuel gauge. Just to the left of the centre of the screen at the bottom. It's perfectly fine. And the other thing is the tyres. Even though they're intermediates, again, very light on these on the tyres. This car, I couldn't believe it at all. So this car's so enjoyable to drive. I absolutely loved it. I loved sort of down tuning it, if you like, and making it more pliable for the majority of people to drive. You can just see Portia's pitted there. So what I'll do is I'll move this on to lap 5 and we'll crack on with the rest of the race. And that's it, back in and back out. Intermediates off, racing hards back on. 2 minutes and 24 seconds ahead of Bishop. And look at that, just over 10 minutes left. So it is still a bit slippery just on the edges of the track as you'd expect after all that rain. But just stick to that racing dry line, you'll be fine. This car can go just offline and it is okay. But when you start veering onto the slippy curbs, that's when you do just need to be careful, as you would do in any car, not just this one. So this track I find very easy to make those credits on. This car, you know, again, it's very, very easy to drive. You know, there's no reason why, if you win this as a gift, or if you win it on a weekly challenge, you know, the 6-star ticket or anything like that at all, there's no reason why you can't race it at Le Mans and use it to its full advantage of making you more money. Okay, so let's move on to lap 6 and see what happened there. I know, you would expect on lap 6, but no! 8 minutes to go, and look at this coming over. An absolute torrential downpour out of nowhere. I thought I was free and easy with the weather. I've already have to deal with one horrendous rainstorm. But no, unfortunately, the Gran Turismo gods are against me on this race. And that's it. I've been given 2 storms to contend with today. Take it in your stride, get on with it, and it'll make you a better driver. Just bear that in mind. So as you can see, this even came with some of that lovely yellow stuff. And I was just stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm coming up to the end of lap 5. And what do I do? What do you think I should have done? This is what I did. That's right, I stayed out. Now the reason I stayed out is because as I was driving and getting closer to the start finish line, what I noticed was, although I might need to reduce my speed during this torrential downpour through the first few corners, the track would surely dry up enough to allow me to continue with these racing hard tyres. Let's be honest, the competition's that far back, you could have a shocker of a lap and still win. Let's have it right, that's what could happen. So as you can see, this car's still handling pretty well. It's telling me to go to first gear, which I'm never going to do in a million years. Again, track, you feel it under your steering wheel starting to dry up. You can see the racing line starting to appear, and that's because that weather radar shows that all of this is now gone and the track is going to dry up. So that gives me 1 lap or 2 laps to carry on. So let's get to the end of lap 6, just so you can see how it went. So here we are now, just getting to the end of the Mulsanne straight. Just over 3 minutes left, and you can see I'm going to have plenty of time. 2.5 minutes left to Bishop. You know, you work out what the laps have been at the moment due to the weather conditions, and you can see I've got enough time to just sit there and wait. I don't have that in me. It's not in me to do that. I'm a racer through and through. So if you want to wait by all means. You know, who's gonna tell, eh? But you know, it's not in me. I went for an additional lap. So you will see next the end of lap 7 as I bring it home. And this is what happens when you reach the end in the Zonda R. And that's it, 0.3 laps of fuel remaining. Coming through the last couple of little chicanes, you can see I nearly caught whoever's in last place. I'd imagine that would probably be the Ferrari, I think it normally is. But there it is, across the line for a win. Another 825,000 credits in the bank from another amazing car from the TheOvertakeGT. So don't forget, these builds are great for your weekly challenges as well as the usual money races. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of this one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these amazing builds in the future. And if you have a car you want to see built specifically for a race, please let me know in the comments below.